It's time to pump up the volume in the East End of Glasgow as 60,000 football fanatics welcome the players of Celtic and Rangers. From here on in, there's no turning back for them, and there's no turning away for you. You'll miss something. Old Firm games, sometimes unbelievable, often uncompromising, always unmissable. And after East Anglian, North West and London derbies, it's high time Chris Sutton stopped pussyfooting around. He's about to discover the real thing, the mother of all derbies. Celtic may not have the best team in Scotland just now, but they do have the best player. Henrik Larsson missed all 4 Old Firm games last season, but he quite likes making up for lost time. Keeping a check on those two, Lorenzo Amoruso, who turned down a move to Sunderland to fight for a future at Rangers. He's fighting, and in 10 games against Celtic, he's yet to lose. This game is what it's all about. It's why players play, it's why supporters support, and Stuart Dougal says it's why referees referee. They're all mad, you know. It's often been debated down the years as to which was the best Old Firm game, but it's quite simple, really. The best Old Firm game is the next one. It gets to you like that, and the next one is here.
Yeah, both managers have been trying to play it down in, but this is a biggie. Psychologically, this is a biggie. A Celtic win today would signal a rebirth under Martin O'Neill. A Rangers victory, well, it would let them claim the high psychological ground, and they've really had Celtic in a psychological armlock over the last decade.
Bobby Pettit with an early surge on his Old Firm debut, and he'll get a free kick.
Well, that's what Martin O'Neill will be looking for plenty of this afternoon. Bobby Pettit, full tilt here down the left-hand side, clearly tripped there, and it gives Celtic a free kick. Well, in fact, Stuart Dougal's given the corner.
Maracic sends it in, and Stubbs and Larsson are there, and it's turned in by Chris Sutton. Unbelievable! Chris Sutton makes an immediate impact on his Old Firm debut, and Celtic are in front.
Well, I bet he can hardly believe his luck in. A gift from God for Chris Sutton. Lorenzo Amoruso screaming at the stand-side linesman for offside here. It sets up nicely for Sutton at the back post. I think he's on. 2 Rangers players on the goal line. It breaks perfectly for him. Stefan Klos with no chance whatsoever. And as you see there, is well onside. And Celtic, Chris Sutton and Martin O'Neill have the start of their dreams.
51 seconds is how long it took Chris Sutton to score for Martin O'Neill's Celtic. Wow, here's Claudio Reyna. Martin O'Neill hoping to succeed with the last 3 Celtic managers, and even Jock Stein failed and win his first Old Firm game. Since Stein, only Davy Hay and Liam Brady have had home advantage. First time out against Rangers, and both recorded victories. I think they're quite enjoying themselves at the moment.
They can't believe the start team. They'll take a goal at any time in this fixture, but to get one as early as that really is remarkable. And it should settle Celtic immediately.
Rangers rocking already. Absolutely stunned by that start. Martin O'Neill might have dreamt about a start like that. He wasn't allowed to go to Old Firm games as a youngster. His parents kept him away. Ferguson, Celtic are really snapping away, but Paul Lambert's almost lost his footing. And a challenge from behind by Billy Dodds, who will be in trouble with Stuart Dougal.
Yeah, this is when referee Stuart Dougal really has to assert his authority, Ian. And we're going to see a few rash challenges in the opening stages of this game. And Stuart Dougal has to stamp on this, has to stamp his authority, give the right message out to the players of either side. Billy Dodds well linked with the challenge there on Alan Stubbs.
So the first yellow card of the first Old Firm encounter of the season goes to Billy Dodds. Sutton awaits the free kick, which is taken by Lambert, away by Continent. It's going to land on the head of Alan Stubbs, though, straight back towards the Rangers' end. Rayner on towards Rod Wallace. Here's Fernando Rickson, and Rayner had made a very good run. Stubbs is there with him, though. Has he held him back? Rayner giving his all, and eventually it is a free kick. The free kick will be taken by the sweet left foot of Van Bronckhorst. And it comes from Van Bronckhorst, and Billy Dodds is there! All right across the line, that one went.
Well, it's a chance. And look at the movement of Billy Dodds here. He just peels off Paul Lambert, and he will be majorly disappointed he doesn't hit the target. He does ever so well here at the back post to get away from Lambert. Jonathan Gould nowhere, and he will not believe he's missed that chance.
Well, as usual, it's been a really dull start between these two. Here's Larsson. Petrov. Lambert. Here's McNamara. Another challenge which Stuart Dougal may have to act on. McCann on McNamara, two Scottish internationals.
Yeah, this is the problem Ian, the referees have in this game, because there are always some very meaty challenges early in the match. And if he shows too many yellow cards, we can end up playing five-a-side. And again, it's a rash one at best there.
McCann has been shown a yellow card. Free kick's been taken too quickly, and Stuart Dougal will haul them back. So, Dodds and McCann already yellow carded.
Yeah, but if you want players yellow carded in your side, Ian, you prefer it if they're forwards. It doesn't matter when defenders get an early yellow, they end up walking on eggshells.
Lubo Moravcik sent it in, but it didn't reach any of its intended targets. It might do so yet, though, because Petter is taking on his fellow countryman Rickson. And that's going to be a corner to Celtic.
Well, it looks as if he's in the mood this afternoon, Bobby Petter. And Martin O'Neill has transformed this lad. All down to confidence, and white players need that. And this lad looks right in the mood this afternoon.
Celtic seeking a second. Moravcik sends it in, and they have a second! And it's Petrov who wasn't picked up, and it gets better and better for Martin O'Neill and for Celtic. A quite incredible start.
Well, this is a deplorable marking here at the back post from Rangers. Stiliyan Petrov just runs off Fernando Rickson. Good ball in by Moravcik, but the marking is woeful there. Plenty of pace in the ball, into a great area for Petrov to come and attack it. But Rickson, well, he fell asleep.
said that he gets rather embarrassed when he watches back his antics on the touchline. But he won't be too embarrassed by the way this game is going.
It's a shocking goal for Rangers to lose the way. And teams work so hard on set pieces against these days on the training ground, and to give a goal away as Tuchel is up. And I'm taking nothing away from young Stilian Petrov, but Dick Advocaat will have plenty to say to Fernando Ricksen at half-time.
It's Advocaat's 10th Old Firm game. He's only lost one, but that was here in November 1998 when they were beaten 5-1. Celtic look like they're in the mood for a similar scoreline. Rod Wallace, though, trying to hit back for the champions. The champs looking more like chumps at the moment. Here's Billy Dodds. He's got a corner. Dick Advocaat normally starts up in the stands for about a quarter of an hour, but he was never going to last that long this time before coming down to the touchline.
It's a dream start for Celtic, but take it from me, there's a lot of football left in this game and a lot of work for Celtic to do.
Stuart Dougal is checking with Martin Doran, his linesman. Rather sadly, I think things have been thrown.
Well, that's the last thing we need in this fixture. And really, the stewards and the police have to weed these people out. Reminiscent of the shameful scenes we had a couple of seasons ago.
So he's also got a
Hugh
problem with
Dallas,
his
of course,
foot.
will remember plenty of that day.
So, Rangers hoping to hit back. Van Bronckhorst whipped it in! Ooh, it was flicked on by Tony Vidmar and it could have gone anywhere.
Yeah, Jackie McNamara on the goal line in, but Celtic once again didn't defend the set piece well.
Dodds slipping it through to Neil McCann, and he's in here! He goes down, but nothing doing, and he wasn't really looking for it. Now, Ferguson whacked Sutton one there, and that's going to be a free kick. It's about time something happened in this game, David, really, isn't it?
Just Sutton on the turn here. Barry Ferguson leading with the right arm.
Stubbs free kick. Larson away towards Petter. His first Old Firm game. Oh, and Fernando Ricksen's challenge. He'll have to get stuck in, Ricksen. He's telling us he got sent off after 35 seconds in one game. Petter, though, is still there. And Moravcik could be in. And they're queuing up here! It's another one for Paul Lambert! 3 for Celtic! And in paradise, this is the stuff that Celtic dreams are made of!
That all came from a very good advantage by Stuart Dougal. Bobby Petter was fouled wide right. He let the play go on, claims for offside. Moravcik clearly on though. Checks back, has the presence to pick out the supporting Lambert. Amoruso can't get close enough to him to close the shot down. Moravcik has time to look up, he sees Lambert. And Lambert could not have struck it any sweeter. And well, it's mission impossible for Rangers now, Ian.
This is why Celtic fans call this place paradise. It's anything but that, though, for the champions Rangers at the moment. They are completely stunned, completely shell-shocked, but then I think most of us are, even him perhaps.
No, he's taking nothing for granted, and you can see him there telling his players, keep concentrating, because this game can swing so quickly. But really, could Martin O'Neill have dreamed of a better start than this in his first Old Firm match?
I don't want to be a bad omen to the Celtic fans, but I was at Southampton yesterday when Liverpool were 3-0 up. So there. Tony Vidmar's throw. Poked into touch by Valharen, the big Belgian who might have been a Rangers player. Dick Advocaat had him on his list, but moved for Bert Konteman instead. Rangers have got to come up with some sort of response to a quite astonishing start to this first Old Firm game of the season.
Well, one thing we know about Dick Advocaat's side, Ian, is that they have great mental resilience. But this really has asked the ultimate question of them this afternoon.
McNamara, he's done well, but Larsson's return bounces out of play. Yes, we have only played 14 minutes, but it is 3-0 to Celtic. Rickson. Here's Alan Stubbs, who shanked that one somewhat. Celtic fans with plenty of reasons to be cheerful. The Rangers fans with plenty of reasons to be tearful at the moment. Konterman. It's not going to be easy by any stretch for Vidmar. But here is Van Bronckhorst. Tried to poke it through to Wallace. And Bronckhorst steps in again. McCann. Free kick, foul by Paul Lambert, scorer of Celtic's third.
Yeah, I think it's unintentional because it's a silly one to give away. Paul Lambert well placed here, goal side of Neil McCann. I think it's unintentional, but it'll certainly give Rangers a chance to push Konterman and Amoruso forward.
Rangers wounded, angered and annoyed. Van Bronckhorst whips it in. Billy Dodd's off balance though, and Jonathan Gould says, "Thank you very much. I'll have that one."
Yeah, he's off balance, but he's unmarked there again, Ian.
Lubo Moravcik chasing this. Reina got back, but Moravcik put it through to Larsson, who's onside. Oh, and Stefan Klost saved Rangers from further embarrassment.
It's a glorious chance for Larsson. My initial impression was he was on there. I think he's level as it's played through to him. And we saw him score in this kind of position against Italy at Euro 2000. Stefan Klost did his job well.
Sutton. And Moravcik looking for Sutton, but Konterman is there. Still very much settling in at Rangers, but Konterman, he hasn't really impressed yet, I think it's fair to say. Doesn't know what's hit him today, that's for sure. Three goals in 11 and a half minutes for Celtic, and they've not finished yet, it seems. Larsson bearing down. Sutton just going to drift away from McNamara. Awesome start from Celtic. And the amazing thing is, Larsson hasn't scored yet for Martin O'Neill's men.
Well, I had a glorious chance there, and you'd normally expect Henrik Larsson to tuck them away.
Van Bronckhorst, away by Valharen. Here's Lambert, who scored a screamer against Rangers, which everyone remembers a couple of years back. Nasty memories last season, though, when gave away a penalty in colliding with George Albert. And several teeth knocked out. Sutton, looking for Larsson, steered away by Konterman to Rickson. Foul on Petrov by Reina. Petrov, scorer of Celtic's second. He had a slow start, Stilian Petrov, to his Celtic career, but he's come good, the Bulgarian international. Stubbs free kick. Sutton. Moravcik is nearby. Reina is with him, and it'll be a throw. hope there were no Celtic fans who turned up 12 minutes late. Sutton. Away by Amoruso, but not very far at all to Petrov. Rangers get it back. McCann. Van Bronckhorst. Both teams have now scored 23 goals already this season, so Rangers have it in them. McCann, this is a magnificent move. And it might not finish yet if Vidmar can get there. Well, he could, but couldn't drag it back, and it's away by McNamara. Henrik Larsson missed most of last season with a broken leg, of course, and how Celtic missed him, but he has shown on his return to action what a world-class talent he is. Valharen's long throw, Sutton chasing, Amoruso's rather awkward clearance has to be knocked into touch by Vidmar, and that means a Celtic throw. Martin O'Neill has won all 6 games in charge of Celtic so far, and number 7 is looking good already. Although if anyone can pull this back, it's Rangers, 49 times champions of Scotland. Here's Paul Lambert. And Larsson could be in here. Cross though, aware.
That's the amount of room though in the inside right channel though that Henrik Larsson had there. Acres of space between Lorenzo Amoruso and Tony Vidmar.
Barry Ferguson trying to get a grip for Rangers. Up towards Wallace. Mahi is there though. And it's going to break for Petter, who was fumbled over by Rickson. Certainly looked the case, even though the Rangers players protest.
Yeah, Stuart Dougal wants a word here, but I can see why Rickson is upset. I think he's obstructed there by Bobby Petter.
An all firm baptism of fire for Fernando Rickson. Rangers utterly stunned. Gaffer was in a very jovial mood before kick-off, but that's soon ended, and I understand they're thinking of making a change already with the possibility of the Turkish international 2 guy coming on.
Yeah, he won't be conceding anything yet, Ian. What he will want is one back before half-time. But they have to defend better. Rangers have been a shambles at the back so far.
McCann was hurt, and so was Lambert there. Both players are down and will need treatment.
Yeah, Stuart Dougal might be glad of the break here. Gives him a chance to catch his breath. Neil McCann and Paul Lambert both in obvious pain there. And look at the determination from either man here. Well, the crucial goal for me is the first one. And immediately the ball hits the net. Lorenzo Amoruso has his arm up, claiming for offside. And here we see it as it drops to Henrik Larsson. There, well, Chris Sutton is in an offside position. As the ball is played, Chris Sutton is offside. And that is the kind of critical decision that can turn Old Firm matches. Sutton hits the byline here. Amoruso pushes out, and as the ball is played by Henrik Larsson, Chris Sutton is offside, but I'll tell you what, he's not complaining.
Well, there is, of course, a bit of a history with Gordon McBride as well, the linesman, as far as Celtic are concerned, David.
Yeah, I mean, the Celtic supporters were not happy with Gordon McBride for a George Cadet goal he chopped off a few seasons ago.
Well, Fernando Rickson is being hauled off. Dick Advocat not messing around here. Rickson is off with just 23 minutes on the clock, and on comes 2 guy, but Paul Lambert, once again in an Old Firm game, appears to be in agony.
Yeah, that's a real blow for Celtic. And even forgetting about the tremendous goal Paul Lambert scored, he is absolutely critical to Celtic, sitting in front of that back line, giving it a bit of protection. And if they can get him back on at all, they'll send him back out.
Well, he was telling you earlier in the week that he's still receiving dental treatment after being whacked by Alberts in last season's Old Firm opener. Van Bronckhorst and Rod Wallace looking for this. Oh, and Jonathan Gould, well, he did it in the end.
I don't know why it stayed though. Jonathan Gould has to come for this. Put one ball in behind, and you're looking for Jonathan Gould to come a bit quicker than he did there. He ended up with a very uncomfortable save to make. To be fair to him, he made a very good job of it.
Here's Petter on the rampage. And tripped by Tony Vidmar, and that's going to be ticking off, I think, for the Australian.
Yeah, I can't believe the transformation in Bobby Petter, to be honest with you. Clearly full of confidence now under Martin O'Neill.
The good news for Celtic is that Paul Lambert is returning to the fray. Here is Petter, who was at Ipswich, of course, before he moved north of the border. This time it's a Rangers free kick. Taken a bit too quickly for Stuart Dougal's liking. Well, it's as extraordinary as ever, Celtic v Rangers. Here's Van Bronckhorst. Free kick for Sutton's foul on McCann.
That's a clumsy one, but it's significant. And Chris Sutton back there in his own half defending.
Wallace. It was Mahi who came for it first of all, and Petrov who completed the clearance, but Rangers will try again to launch a salvage operation. Barry Ferguson away towards Van Bronckhorst. Up to Neil McCann, on to Rod Wallace. And here's Wallace, and it comes to Ferguson. Oh, and Jonathan Gould is there again.
Yeah, good block though by Stefan Mahi in the first place, Ian. At full stretch here, Stefan Mahi did ever so well. Good movement from Rangers up front. That's a crucial block. Barry Ferguson hits the rebound into the ground, didn't really get a hold of it.
Van Bronckhorst. This might carry to Dodds, but Stubbs ensured it didn't, at the expense, though, of a corner. Dodds with 8 goals so far this season, and Dick Advocaat will be hoping he can add to that tally ASAP. Nobody will mind where a goal is coming from.
I don't think either side have defended set pieces particularly well, Ian. Celtic have managed to get off the hook a couple of times. They're going to have to tighten up.
Celtic Park holds its breath again as Van Bronckhorst takes a rather disappointing corner by his standards.
Yeah, not like him at all. And that's costly when Rangers are so desperate to get back into the game, to squander an opportunity to put Jonathan Gould under pressure.
Celtic with just one win in their last 11 meetings with the Rangers. Dick Advocaat has usually been a thorn in their side. The majority inside Celtic Park today deserve a win, for their heroes is long overdue, and their heroes obviously think the same as well. And Moravcik is going to get a yellow card.
Yeah, Stuart Dougal signalling there that it wasn't his first challenge, and he was ideally placed to call this one correctly. The acknowledgement there from Lubo Moravcik, well late going into Barry Ferguson here, and he can have no complaints at all. The left arm up immediately in acknowledgement that it was a bad one.
Lorenzo Amoruso, the Rangers captain, two-guy on as a sub for Rickson, and doing well until he did that. Was that a shot or a pass?
It's a poor final ball, but Billy Dodds had taken up excellent position on the left-hand side, had two-guy managed to play him in here. You see Dodds just drifting across in the bottom of the picture there, found a good bit of room, but the pass was overcooked.
Two guys sent home in disgrace from Euro 2000 for throwing his shin pads at the Turkish coach when he subbed him in the first half. He himself here. The first half sub for Fernando Ricks. Here is Ferguson. Tugay. Here's Ferguson. Looking for Wallace, away by Mahi. Sutton. Larsson. I think that's come off the speedy Swede. Van Bronckhorst might have shown too much of that to McNamara, who wasn't going to pull out. Celtic's 3 goals coming in the first 11 and a half minutes of a cracking contest. Quick free kick for Rangers, the ball was moving. Reina up towards Wallace, away by Valharan. And Broncos beat Larsson to it. Konterman. Stefan Mahi jumped to the head of the queue. Sutton, despite a high boot from Konterman, was ready to continue, but he has got the free kick. Chris Sutton started the scoring spree, but happened to be in an offside position at the time. Petrov, who scored the second. Away by Ferguson. The player cam focuses now on Henrik Larsson. That's for Sky Digital viewers. Petter's cross, away by Amoruso. Now Barry Ferguson remaining calm. Konterman. McNamara keeping a check on that. And a bit of a miscue from Henrik Larsson, not words I've uttered very often in commentating on Scottish football.
Rangers know they need one back before half-time. Celtic at the moment quite happy to get bodies goal side. 3-0 at half-time, they do, that's fine.
Free kick has been given now, but there could have been a whole series of them in that little flurry.
Yeah, it's a chip from Claudio Reina. And Celtic will be quite glad of this. They've been under pressure for the last 5 minutes or so. It gives them a chance to get pushed up. And Chris Sutton, I imagine, would be the target here for the long ball forward.
It's taken by Stefan Mahi. Back though by Amoruso. Stefan Klos. Staying cool. And staying cool in this kind of game is an achievement. Full touch from Wallace. Lubomir Moravcik, hassled by Claudio Reina. Moravcik, though, shrugs him off. The legacy of Dr. Joe Benglos's time at Celtic. Here's Moravcik, his fellow countryman. Konterman. Larsson's going to get to it. Petter's nearby, just there. Sutton waiting in the middle. Larsson off the field at the moment, so he's not an option. Bobby Petter is taking the mickey a bit at the moment. Now he's got his cross in towards McNamara. And away by Amoruso. Sutton was waiting.
It wasn't a bad deep ball in either end.
Rangers burst up the other end though. Oh, what a tackle that was from McNamara. Two guys, hassled and harried.
Yeah, look at Chris Sutton, though, back doing the shift. Celtic really defending as a team this season, and that for me is the main difference. Defending from the front back the way.
Here's Ferguson. Rayner trying to slip it through to Wallace. Both teams have averaged 3 goals a game so far this season. Celtic in a hurry to keep up that average, obviously, after storming into this lead.
Dead level in terms of attempts at goal, Ian. The crucial stat is Celtic 3, Rangers 0.
Lambert shaken off that earlier injury and taking on McCann here. He's still going. Magnificent from Paul Lambert. It's eventually got out for a Rangers throw, though.
Terrific determination from Paul Lambert. Just wasn't prepared to give this one up here. And he's up against the pace of Neil McCann as he broke forward.
Sutton. Stefan Klos coming for it. His punch is going to land at the feet of Bobby Petr, and there's no one on him. Petr's cross. Oh, it's going to dribble wide.
Well, I think Larsson took it off Moravcik. Petr clearly tried to pick out Lubo Moravcik. Klos doesn't make a very good job of the clearance. Petr looks up as Moravcik is trying to find here, and Henrik Larsson took it off his toes. Another good delivery once again from Petr, who has been hugely significant for Celtic today.
I said Paul Lambert had shrugged off that knock from earlier, but I'm not so sure now because he's in need of treatment again, and that will be a concern to Martin O'Neill. Not too many concerns for him so far this afternoon.
Yeah, he has Johan Mjällby on the bench who could come in and play in that role, Ian, but he'll want Lambert back on his feet if possible. It's a fair old ding-dong, this. It's the left groin that is overstretched there.
It might be the end this time for Paul Lambert. Sadly, it will be. They're going to bring on Johan Mjällby, and Paul Lambert, such an influence for Celtic, sadly once again has to go off in an Old Firm game.
Yeah, if it is a groin strain, there's no way he can continue in. But he's made his contribution. And this kind of contest will be right up Johan Mjällby's street. Sorry, as he will be to see his teammate being stretchered off.
Well, Johan Mjällby made his Celtic debut when they thrashed Rangers 5-1 a couple of seasons ago. Here they are, 3-0 in front. Both sides have made a change in the first half. Barry Ferguson. Van Bronckhorst. Ferguson. That's going to drift away and behind, and it's just not happening for Rangers.
Yeah, they just haven't found the rhythm. The cat knows that. But to be fair to Celtic, they haven't given them a chance to find that rhythm.
One of the Rangers fans inside Celtic Park can barely believe what they've seen. It was a handball, although it was an earlier foul on Dodd, so it'll be a Rangers free kick. Valharan, I don't think he was going to let Billy Dodds in there.
I just wonder how defenders get away with this all the time, Ian. And they're never pulled up for obstruction in this situation.
Billy Dodds felt hard done by.
Yeah, he's trying to get to the ball there. He's clearly obstructed. It always amazes me that defenders get away with that.
Ferguson. Rayner. Vidmar, who has switched to right back. after Ritson was taken off. Ferguson. Tugai. Rangers in desperate need of inspiration here. Van Bronckhorst cut out by McNamara, and here's Johan Nalby on for the injured Paul Lambert. Maruso shouldn't be too troubled by this. Stefan Klos. No time to hang around. And Maruso. Oh, Moravcik has dispossessed him, and Henrik Larsson is there. Sutton scoops it up. No, he doesn't, but here's Moravcik again. Petter's away to his left, and Vidmar should master that behind. Oh, it's a corner.
Yeah, it's another good advantage given on the edge of the box there. Lorenzo Amoruso handled on the edge of the box. Stuart Dougal once again played a good advantage. The right arm of Lorenzo Amoruso played the ball. It lets Moravcik go. And eventually it's Tony Vidmar who concedes.
Martin O'Neill's Celtic are in the hunt for another goal. Lubomir Moravcik with a cracking corner, which was actually knocked away by Barry Ferguson. McCann. Wallace does well to pick out Tugai. McCann. Wallace, nobody supporting him down there. He doesn't need any support, mind you. Claudio Reyna! And Jonathan Gould stopped it right on his line. Although as it's been given
the goal in.
It's been given and Rangers have one back.
Yeah, linesman ran to the halfway line immediately. Terrific break by Rangers, and Rod Wallace did ever so well to spin on the left-hand side here before delivering the back post ball. Just spins away from Alan Stubbs. Delightful ball in. Reyna attacking the back post. Jonathan Gould, well, we can't tell from here, but the linesman on the far side perfectly positioned to call this one. And exactly what Rangers need. Terrific turn and a super delivery from Rod Wallace. Reyna wanted it badly enough, and that to me looked over the line. Jonathan Gould left exposed there as Reyna attacked the back post, and I think his own momentum took him over the line. And that's exactly what Dick Advocaat would have wanted, to get one back before half-time.
There is hope for Rangers. And they, in their position at the moment, don't care how they go in, as long as they go in. And Jonathan Gould didn't appear to be able to keep that one out. Good spot by the officials. And boy, did Rangers need that. With half-time fast approaching, Claudio Reyna has given them encouragement. Ferguson, they're looking for another. Rod Wallace, he has scored! Oh, the flag is up, it's not going to count. A late flag went up against Rod Wallace.
Well, that's a very tight one, very, very tight. Again, terrific mobility by Wallace. Let's watch this one again. Diagonal run by Rod Wallace, and he's level. And that's a sore one for Rangers, trying to claw their way back into the game. A very tough call for the far side assistant, but I think he was level.
Here's Henrik Larsson. And Bobby Petter's in here. Petter! Klos stopped it! Oh, and Larsson put it wide!
Well, it just wouldn't sit down for Bobby Petter here, Ian. The ball in behind by Larsson, and as it breaks to Petter, he's just hoping this is going to sit down for him. It won't. And that allows Klos to come out and make the block. Good ball in behind by Sutton. And it just won't sit for Bobby Petter.
Barry Ferguson with an up and under. The first half drawing to a close. Let's hope they can try and make it entertaining in the second half. Neil McCann is hurt now.
Up here with Jackie McNamara, that's been a fierce contest. That's where the damage was done there. Yeah, that's a sore one in the back of the head.
Ferguson helped it on to Wallace. Ferguson offside again against Billy Dodds.
Yeah, he shouldn't be caught off in that position, Ian, because he's wide. He's looking along the line at the last Celtic defender, who was Alan Stubbs here. As the ball's played, I think he's just off his mark, a fraction early, Billy Dodds. Otherwise, he was in a decent position, and Rangers now starting to answer some questions. And not before time, I'm sure Dick Advocaat feels.
A fabulous football match. And here is Bobby Pettit. The free kick has actually been given to Celtic, and Harry Ferguson getting a warning.
Yeah, he could have given an advantage there, Stuart Dougal, and I think he's let the game flow very well this afternoon, the referee. And another example here of the confidence and body strength of Bobby Pettit, who's taken a few hefty challenges.
No time to pause for breath in an Old Firm game. Free kick by Petrov was disappointing. Sutton and Amoruso on the chase. And Amoruso firmly heading it back to cross.
Yeah, good defending there.
Konterman. Ferguson. There will be 4 minutes of added on time in this first half. Here is Neil McCann. Mialbi tracking him. But McCann delivers. Ooh, Petrov picks up the clearance from Valhaeren. Plenty of movement ahead of him. But that's asking a bit too much of Henrik Larsson. Konterman covering. Ferguson falls, free kick. Foul by Sutton. We are inside the first of 4 added on minutes.
Yeah, last warning there for Chris Sutton.
And a foul on McCann, and Rangers can pump one into the box here. They'll do it though via Tony Vidmar. Wallace. Reyna. It opens up a little bit for Reyna and for Ferguson. Ooh, it went the wrong side of Rod Wallace.
Yeah, he has to play this first time, Barry Ferguson, otherwise Rod Wallace would have been in an offside position. He just doesn't quite get the angle right here as Wallace makes the diagonal in behind.
Konterman gliding it back to Klos. Here's Van Bronckhorst. Mahi made sure that he was going to get a touch. Never before have Celtic and Rangers met with 100% records at this stage of the season, this far in. Something had to give today, and if you ask Celtic fans what they would give for a victory, they would give you a very long list of things. The first half to remember, but then these are usually whole games to remember. Two-guy. Reyna. He's going to have a pop, and it was blocked by Mahi, but here's Tony Vidmar. Good cross! Oh, and it might still go in. McCann's header, but the free kick's been given now as Dodds hooked it back.
Well, Celtic right on the ropes here, Ian. Defending desperately as Rangers turn the heat up. Good ball into a dangerous area there. Rangers have bodies forward. And Celtic relieved that that ball finished just over the goal line as Billy Dodds tried to turn it back across goal. But these are anxious moments now for Martin O'Neill. And a second goal now for Rangers really would change the complexion of this match.
Sutton looking to combine with Larsson. And they are building up quite an understanding, those two. But it hasn't taken them long. It's half-time, and you have permission to pause for breath. A quite amazing 45 minutes. Chris Sutton scoring 51 seconds into his Old Firm debut. Stiliyan Petrov wasn't picked up from a corner, and Paul Lambert, who has gone off injured, added a third before Claudio Reyna's header sneaked across the line to give Rangers hope. Chris Sutton, though, in an offside position seemingly, tucked it away in the very first minute, and Celtic quickly added a second. Poor marking though, Petrov the scorer, and Paul Lambert rifled in number 3. But this header from Claudio Reyna did sneak over the line. Jonathan Gould unable to keep it out. Goals galore. Rod Wallace had one disallowed, harshly disallowed for offside. Lambert has gone off injured. So much has happened. I can't remember it all, but I can remember that at half-time at Celtic Park, it is Celtic 3, Rangers 1. Rangers start the second half. The champions trailing by 3 goals to 1, but that one would be so crucial. No further changes at the start of the second half. Rangers brought on Tugay Eriksson in the first, and this man Mjällby came on for the injured Paul Lambert. After Lambert had made such a significant contribution as usual to Celtic's cause. Moravcik, he's away. Are Celtic going to start the second half like they started the first? Lorenzo Amoruso deciding otherwise. And he was there when it mattered. He's got the free kick.
Yeah, he did well to make the room in the first place, Moravcik. He ended up, he just showed too much of it to Lorenzo Amoruso. And a clear click of the heels there gives Rangers the free kick.
But they've made a mess of it. And here's Sutton. And Bronckhorst muscled in. Vidmar fending off Henrik Larsson, who fouls the Australian international.
Yeah, he's clearly pulling Tony Vidmar's jersey. But again, it's an indication of the determination of Celtic's front two to defend today.
McNamara. Amoruso hoping to inspire a Rangers comeback. Southampton managed it yesterday in 18 minutes, going from 3 down, so Rangers will be hoping it's still possible to get something out of this game. Stiliyan Petrov finds Bobby Petto, who's had a superb Old Firm debut. Player who's come out of a shell under Martin O'Neill, and Larsson let it go, but it was just too far ahead of Sutton.
Yeah, it's another good delivery from Petto, though. He needs just half a yard, this lad, to get the cross in, and he played it into a good area.
Tugay, Reyna, Mjällby coming across, but here's Tony Vidmar. Petto is there once again for Celtic, and he was rather crudely taken out by Reyna.
Well, that's a part of the job the white player doesn't like, him, when he has to get back into his own half and defend. And you've got to give Bobby Petto credit here. Back in the left-back position, winning challenges, and he's made a very significant contribution this afternoon.
Celtic with just one championship success in the last 12 years, and you don't need to tell them who won the other 11. Maybe there's a tart payback coming today. Moravcik to Larsson. Ferguson, though, mopping up. Tugai. Away by Stubbs. Amoruso. That was rather blatant charge by a fellow big man, Mjällby.
Yeah, could be looking at a yellow card here. Cynical block here by Johan Mjällby. Renzo Amoruso on his way here. See if Dougal lets him off though.
He took the free kick quickly. Tugai. And Van Bronckhorst is in here, promising this for Rangers. But it's cleared, and effectively so by Valhalla.
Yeah, Moravcik fell asleep there. Van Bronckhorst down the left-hand side.
McCann. Tugai. Van Bronckhorst ready to deliver. Good cross too, but Jonathan Gould collects. Confident catch. And Sutton sets up Larsson here. Larsson. Oh, he's in! Henrik Larsson! That is sensational! He missed all 4 Old Firm games last season, but he rather enjoys making up for lost time. World class.
Well, that is world class, Ian. A special goal from a very special player. Chris Sutton does magnificently well in the first place to win it over Amoruso. Larsson on his way, look at that skill. And he has the confidence, the composure and the technique to chip it over Stefan Klos. Look at the arrogance in that finish. That, as you say, is the mark of a world-class player. Absolutely magnificent.
Celtic 4, Rangers 1, and that's what Celtic were missing last season. The tremendous talents of Henrik Larsson. King Henrik of this part of Glasgow, that's for sure. So Rangers 3 behind again, but here's Barry Ferguson. Comes through to McCann. He's snapping away at his heels. Ferguson giving it away. Guess who the Celtic fans are singing about at the moment? Their #1 hero, Henrik Larsson.
Yeah, I'd be first to acknowledge though the contribution that Chris Sutton made to his goal, Louis. 1-1 with Amoruso. It was Sutton's knockdown that sent him on his way. And it's a partnership that continues to improve.
Celtic Park is jumping up and down at the moment. Ferguson. Reyna. Amoruso trying to stir it up for Rangers. Billy Dodds helped it on, but the offside flag frustrates the champions again.
Rangers know they need one back quickly in. Plenty of bodies forward here, and as the ball is played in, Billy Dodds has wandered just a yard offside. Stefan Mai did well to step up as the ball was played.
Dick Advocaat's Rangers have been taken apart. Well, he lost 5-1 here in his first season in charge, but still won the title, as he did in his second season in charge. Just 4-1 at the moment to Celtic. Moravcik, good run by Stilian Petrov. Reyna's gone with him, that's going to be a corner.
Yeah, once again, good willingness by Petrov to break beyond the front players. Reyna did a good job defensively, although he had to concede the corner. And this game continues to swing from end to end. It really hasn't abated from the first whistle.
Moravcik is going to leave it actually for Bobby Petr, who gets a standing ovation as he wanders over to that corner. Petr sent it in. Ooh, missed Sutton. Larsson almost got a sniff. Could be a break on though for Rangers. 4 against 3 at the moment as Neil McCann bursts away. Rayner is in plenty of space here, and McCann has picked him out. Rayner, Wallace, penalty given for the challenge on Rod Wallace, and Rangers have a chance to hit back again. Mahi's foul on Wallace.
That was a classic break. Terrific vision by Neil McCann. He checks inside McNamara when the ball comes in. Mahi is the wrong side of Rod Wallace here. The clumsy challenge. I don't think Stuart Dougal has a choice here. That's a penalty for me.
Well, is there going to be another twist in this quite astonishing game? One way or another, there is going to be. It's Billy Dodds, and he's not missing this season. And Rangers have cut the deficit again. It's 4-2 now in this great game.
Well, Celtic simply caught with too many players forward when Rangers broke in. Good penalty by Billy Dodds here. Head over the ball, made sure he kept it down, hit the target. Jonathan Gould wrong-footed. And once again, Rangers are starting to answer the big questions. And there's still plenty of time left in this match. And hence the eagerness of Billy Dodds to get the ball out of the net after the penalty and get it back to the centre spot.
Well, Lubomir Moravcik is going to be taken off here by Celtic. And they are going to bring on Tom Boyd, who will be playing in his 35th Old Firm game, just 7 wins in that time, but hoping that number 8 is coming up. Boyd on for Moravcik, David.
Yeah, I think it makes sense, Ian. I think Celtic now have to try and lock the back door and make sure they have enough bodies goal side. Tom Boyd will give them a bit more security, but they were caught with far too many players forward there as Rangers broke.
Well, in the 109-year history of this fixture, there have been many fantastic games, but this is right up there with the best of them at the moment. It sometimes leaves you lost for words. And Marusso's free kick. Away by Stubbs. Van Bronckhorst doesn't quite get it back, but Rangers still make progress. Bobby Pettit, who is giving it straight to Tony Vidmar. Wallace wants it. Vidmar crowded out, but fouled. Free kick in a promising position for Rangers.
Yeah, it certainly is in a promising position. Vidmar driving at the Celtic backline here as things open up for him. Clearly caught there by Johan Mjalby. And Rangers really have to make sure they get a shot on target here. At least bring out a save from Jonathan Gould.
The left foot of Van Bronckhorst, probably the favourite for this one. He actually scored when Rangers were thumped 5-1 here with a cracking goal a couple of seasons ago, even though it meant nothing ultimately. Rangers in need of something special. Van Bronckhorst doesn't quite deliver, but a reasonable try.
No, I think he'll be disappointed, Ian. This lad has the technique to do better than this. And he gets it up, but there's not enough top spin on it to bring it back down. Rangers 8-6 ahead in terms of attempts at goal. And you have to give them credit for the way they've come back into this game. But 3-0 down, they look dead and buried.
Well, to put into context really what they have achieved under Dick Advocaat, they've only lost 2 of their last 47 league matches. Only 1 away defeat last season. That was on the final day at Motherwell when everything had been long wrapped up. But don't rule out Dick yet, because at 4-2 there's plenty left from Rangers in this game. And there's plenty left time-wise as well. Now, there's going to be punishment dished out here. Tomorrow's challenge.
Yeah, Jackie McNamara leading with the sole of the boot there. As Van Bronckhorst tries to play it well, Jackie McNamara's high there. That's a bad challenge. And Giovanni Van Bronckhorst knows it as well.
So a yellow card for Jackie McNamara and some treatment for Giovanni van Bronckhorst. Fourth booking of the game, 2 apiece. Hrafčík, the other Celtic, on a yellow card, but he's now off. Dodds and McCann booked by Stuart Dougal for Rangers. Stuart Dougal was saying before the game, this is the ultimate match for a referee, really, but sometimes you wonder how they keep up with it all.
I think he's done well, Ian, to be fair. There's always a bit of extra pressure on the referee in the first Old Firm match of the season as he hands out a lecture here.
You have to be certifiable to be a referee of an Old Firm game, that's for sure. Conterman's header, Ferguson. Tugai. Rangers looking for more gaps. Rayner. McCann. It comes back to Van Bronckhorst. McCann with Boyd to contend with.
Yeah, that's why Tom Boyd's been brought on in, just to go man for man with Neil McCann. Jackie McNamara's pushed on, playing right midfield now.
And Bronckhorst will take the throw. Dodds. Van Bronckhorst. Goal kick. Since the Scottish Premier League was given a new look a couple of seasons ago, Van Bronckhorst is the only man to have started all 9 of the league encounters on either side. Bobby Petr caught by, it was his high boot. Free kick to Rangers.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's given it Rangers way in. Bobby Petr clearly caught there by Tony Vidmar.
The Old Firm derby always attracts the top men in football. Louis van Gaal, former Barcelona coach, now in charge of Holland, checking out a few of his players, although, of course, one of them, Fernando Ricksen, was hauled off in the first half. Ferguson. Oh, it's run away from him, and Johan Mjällby picks it up. McNamara. Mjällby has got the free kick, and Stuart Dougal quickly across again.
Yeah, it's a daft challenge by Lorenzo Amoruso. I don't think Johan Mjällby is going to hurt you with a good ball in that position. Amoruso goes side, dives in needlessly. Celtic will quite happily take the free kick.
Free kick that will be taken by Bobby Petr. Petr delivers. Larsson's header! He's done it again! It's a double for Henrik Larsson! It's number 5 for Celtic!
Well, once again, it's a wonderful goal, Ian, but once again, you have to question the marking in the back for Rangers. Good delivery, whipped in by Petr, but look at the room that Henrik Larsson has. Barry Ferguson the nearest to him, and he's 3 yards off him. And it doesn't get any easier for strikers than this. A lot of work still to be done, though, and Larsson applies the deftest of headers to find the corner. But he should have been marked tighter than that.
Henrik Larsson scores his 57th league goal in 84 matches for Celtic. And just as they did here a couple of seasons ago, Celtic have put 5 past Rangers, who just keep leaving themselves with too much to do. But here they go again with Van Bronckhorst. Vidmar, Ferguson. Reina. Mialbi slid in, but credit to Tugay. He wasn't letting them get away that easily.
The crucial goal in. That's a crucial goal from Larsson. It's bought Celtic a little bit of breathing space as Rangers had the scent once again.
It's been a thriller at Celtic Park. And Rangers have certainly played their part as well, but plenty for them to ponder over in this game. Celtic's performance has typified their manager, really. Nobody's more up for a game than Martin O'Neill, and his players are always going to be as well. Here's Bobby Petr. They're looking for number 6. It's the... Oh, Rangers header might let Petr in. It's the first time in 14 years that there have been 7 goals in an Old Firm game.
It may not be finished yet.
I don't think so. Ferguson. Reina's header down for Vidmar, who I think might be replaced shortly by Andrei Kanchelskis. In fact, maybe now if they can get Stuart Dougal's attention. Rangers will make the change. And off comes Tony Vidmar, and on comes Andrei Kanchelskis.
Yeah, he's going for broke Dick Advocaat. He doesn't really have much choice now with the clock ticking away. And he may feel that Andrei Kanchelskis can get a result against Bobby Petr down this right-hand side for Rangers. Certainly well worth a gamble in the situation Rangers are in right now.
Rangers once again in the position of having to haul themselves back into this game. Van Bronckhorst will see his free kick comfortably taken though by Jonathan Gould. Another wasted kick, but nobody's up there yet, although having said that, Larsson was making up serious ground. Reina's header. Kanchelskis gets his first touch, but it's not a touch that comes to much. They're on their feet. Celtic Park singing rather merrily. Ferguson. Away by Stubbs. Van Bronckhorst, neat work by McCann, who's going to get it back here. 2 men quickly on him, though, typifying Celtic today. And a stray one, much to the delight of the home fans, much to the annoyance of the away fans. Champions of Scotland have taken a pounding here, and there may well be more to come. Sutton stamped it out though.
Yeah, I think Dick Advocaat's biggest concern will be the manner in which his side has defended him, bearing in mind they're going into Champions League competition very shortly. They cannot afford to defend like that at Champions League level. And this despite bringing in Bert Kontraman at the back. And people did suggest before this game that Amoruso and Kontraman is a partnership that's not really working, and the evidence today is that that's a fair point.
Here's Claudio Reyna. Wallace. Billy Dodds. Reyna. Van Bronckhorst arriving on the scene. Tugai. Poor pass. Amoruso to try again for Rangers. Reina flies off to America tomorrow for another World Cup qualifier. Tugai. McCann. Van Bronckhorst. Body's in the way. McNamara that time.
Yeah, that's a story now, Ian. Celtic will be quite happy to hold out now. Everyone goes side when they lose the ball.
Reina. Ferguson. Wallace let it go. Ferguson. Free kick given against him.
Yeah, relieved Alan Stubbs there. He thought for a moment Stuart Dougal was going to give the free kick on the edge of the box to Rangers. A lot of pushing and shoving here on the edge of the box. And, well, Barry Ferguson might have a case there for a free kick.
Ferguson. Amoruso finding Continent. Bobby Petr, though, charges in again for Celtic. Larsson. Oh, it has come through to Sutton, and Reina is going to concede the corner kick.
Celtic are always going to be dangerous now on the break. Rangers throwing players forward, and they have no choice at this stage. But Martin O'Neill will be looking for Celtic to hit on the break at every opportunity.
Bobby Petr's corner away by Amoruso, but only to Larsson, and Klos collects. For your information, the last team to score 6 goals in an Old Firm League game was Celtic when they won 6-2 in September 1938, 62 years ago. McCann's cross, away by Stubbs. McCann. Here's Valhaeren, and he's picked out Henrik Larsson. Full control from Larsson, though. Always thought he wasn't up to much. Henrik Larsson with a double. Celtic with 5, Rangers with 2. And still, there are 18 minutes to go. Tugai, Van Bronckhorst will be released here, and he's got the corner. Rangers hoping that a miraculous comeback is not beyond them. And as we said earlier, if any team can do it, they can, but surely this is asking too much of them. Van Bronckhorst, Celtic determined to be first to the ball. Here's Andrei Kanchelskis, who's scored in Manchester, Merseyside and Glasgow derbies. Ferguson, suspected might go back out to Van Bronckhorst unless Tugai has other ideas. He does. Billy Dodds! And it's just gone wide from Dodds.
Well, that's a chance for Billy Dodds. You'd normally expect him in this kind of form to stick that away. It's a good first touch as the ball's played through to him here. The first touch is excellent. There's a chance to take it first time in the volley after that. And he really should be hitting the target.
Kanchelskis tried to help it on to Wallace, but Mahi saw that one coming. Oh, that's Barry Ferguson, and that was a shocking challenge, really, from Ferguson.
Stuart Dougal wants a word, and no wonder. That was well laid, Barry Ferguson, and he knows it there. Stuart Dougal reached for the card at first, then withdrew his hand.
He does get a yellow card, Barry Ferguson.
Yeah, I don't think he can have any complaints either, Ian. I think that's just a sign of frustration. Full stretch there, Barry Ferguson. Stelian Petrov knew all about the challenge.
Alan Stubbs will take the free kick. And he seeks out Henrik Larsson, who's on a hat-trick. Away by Van Bronckhorst. Guy ran into trouble, but credit to him, he plugged away. McCann. What a run here by Petrov, and now the referee having words with Neil McCann, who's already on a card.
Yeah, he's got his work cut out now, Stuart Dougal. Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, who catches Stelian Petrov here.
So Celtic with a free kick. What can they conjure up from this? Stelian Petrov seemed to go for goal. Rangers in a muddle again. Larsson. And Tugay can match on to that. Bobby Petter, Ferguson chipping away again, so too Dodds, both those booked so far.
Yeah, Petter's done well here. He gets his body between Barry Ferguson and the ball. Good shielding here. Barry Ferguson having none of it.
Rangers have taken off Neil McCann and brought on Peter Lovenkrantz, the 20-year-old who nearly joined Newcastle. They thought they got him. Rangers did get him. He's the brother of Tommy, who's at St Johnstone, and he made his debut as a late sub against Dunfermline last week. Boyd managing to get a touch, helping it on to Petrov. Here's Petter. There's a buzz when he gets the ball. To be fair, there's a buzz when any Celtic player gets the ball today. Mahi to Sutton. Stefan Mahi. It's going to bobble through to Stefan Klos. Ferguson. Konterman. Lorenzo Amoruso. Billy Dodds peeled off Valharan, but the offside flag up.
Yeah, he's a real fraction early there, Billy Dodds. He's had a tough afternoon. Jos Valharan has played very well for Celtic today.
Here's Petter. Ferguson involved again. Rayner is going to be in trouble here. It's going to be a yellow card for the captain of America. Petrov the victim once again.
Yeah, it's a difficult time in the game for the referee. He's tried to let the game flow. The players aren't letting that happen now. Some very late challenges come in. And you wouldn't really be surprised the way this game is boiling over now if we saw a red card.
So Dario Reina becomes the fourth Rangers player, but Petrov is in need of treatment. Celtic heading towards their fifth win in 5 games in the Scottish Premier League. Last time they won their first 5 games of the season was in 1983. One of those victories was against Rangers, but the Old Firm missed out on the title that year. Those were the days when Aberdeen used to win things. Noel Gallagher of Oasis in the crowd. I wonder if it's ever like this at Main Road. We'll have a few stories to tell. Petrov is going to be okay. The Celtic fans are milking the moment. Too often in the past they've played second fiddle to their fierce rivals. This appears to be their day. Stubbs' free kick is going to carry straight through to Klos. Including the tail end of last season, Celtic did actually come into this game on the back of an 11-match unbeaten run in the league.
They look as if they have more belief these days under Martin O'Neill, to be fair. And as I said, this will be, if Celtic hold on here, a huge psychological bonus to them, because Rangers have been the benchmark over most of the last decade.
Tugai, Wallace. If Rangers were to get another one back, it would make for an amazing final 10 minutes to go with the first amazing 80 minutes. Lovenkrands cross comes to Ferguson, who shakes off a couple of challenges. Rather blatant handball by Barry Ferguson, who is getting very, very frustrated and has got to be careful. Oh, he's going to be off. Barry Ferguson is going to be sent off in the Old Firm game, and Ferguson is losing it here.
Well, he wants to calm down and get himself out of there, Barry Ferguson. And it's suggesting that we might see a red card. And it may have been given for deliberate handball. Good determination in the first place by Barry Ferguson to win the ball. He really had nowhere to go after that. And I think it's the deliberate handball that's proved costly to him. The slip here, the left arm goes over the ball, but it's really the previous couple of rash challenges that have caught up with him here. And with Barry Ferguson, I would suggest any slim chance Rangers have of rescuing anything from this game.
Well, that had been coming. So, Rangers' dismal day goes from bad to worse. They're only getting trapped by Celtic, but they are down to 10 men with Barry Ferguson sent off. And I don't think he can really argue, because he was beginning to leave Stuart Dougal with little option. Shows how much it hurts, though, and how hungry players are to perform on this stage. What a run this is from Valhaeren. Peta, another Old Firm debutant, and he gets the throw. Bobby Peta, always delighted the Ipswich fans, although I think that's a handball, is it, by Amoruso? Not given, but he stopped it going for a corner.
Yeah, and it's a corner that Celtic won't be in any hurry to take in. They can almost see the finishing line now.
Peta will take the throw, and Sutton is over there. Peta. Not quite that time for Bobby Peta, but most things have come off for him today.
Yeah, he's got a smashing afternoon. A player really that had lost his way and lost his confidence completely as Celtic prepared to bring on Mark Burchill for the remainder of this game.
Well, when Burchill came on, when Celtic played Rangers here a couple of seasons ago, he got the 5th goal in a 5-1 win, and that was his Old Firm debut. case you hadn't noticed, it's a bit noisy at Celtic Park. Larsson looking to latch onto that, but Amoruso holding firm. Not particularly going anywhere yet, though. Now he is. Back to Kloss. Chris Sutton suddenly burst in from nowhere. And McNamara's chasing that. Celtic, even though they are 5-2 up, are going in hard for every ball.
Yeah, it's terrific pressing of the ball there by Celtic.
Here's Billy Dodds. Kanchelskis. Reina. Kanchelskis. Cracking cross from Andrei Kanchelskis, but nobody on the end of it for Rangers. Henrik Larsson has a touch of cramp at the moment, I think.
Yeah, I think it is cramping. Signalling over there to the bench there that he's struggling. And he maybe still has a bit to go. Well, that's a frightening thought. A bit to go to get to full fitness after this performance.
So I suspect Birchall will come on for Larsson in a moment. Here's Van Bronckhorst. Now Amoruso. They're all on their feet at Celtic Park, except for the Rangers fans, of course. They've been waiting a while for a day like this at Celtic Park, since November 1998, in fact, and that 5-1 thrashing. Van Bronckhorst looking for Dodds, but between them Stubbs and Valhaeren coping admirably. Oh, Petrov has taken it off the toes of Tugai, and he's going to put Bobby Petter in here. Petter looking to finish it all off, but Claudio Reyna was waiting for him. Foul on Rod Wallace, and now Celtic can make this change. And just listen to the applause that Henrik Larsson's going to get here. Mark Birchall's coming on, but get a load of this. Celtic's superhero Henrik Larsson makes way for Mark Birchall, who scored a hat-trick in 3 minutes in midweek against Jeunesse of Luxembourg. Scored just 7 minutes into his Old Firm debut a couple of seasons ago. Tugai. It's slipping away from Rangers now. Miraculous comebacks surely not a possibility today, as they seemed to be in English football yesterday. That was sloppy from Tugai. And Birchall getting involved. Reyna. Kanchelskis. The Old Firm games really do have everything. They have quite a bit even before it kicks off, and then plenty more once it starts. Tugai. Billy Dodds, he's struggling to keep his feet, and Rob Wallace could be in here. Wallace, magnificent block from Mialbi.
That's a terrific block, but Billy Dodds can't believe he wasn't given a free kick on the edge of the box there. And for me, he should have been.
Petter. Kanchelskis. Billy Dodds looking to latch on to Amoruso's up and under, and he has done so, even though he didn't really look favourite to do so. Not only that, he's picked out Kanchelskis. It's blocked away by Jonathan Gould. Amoruso's touch allows Sutton to find Birchall. Man on, there's Tugai. Birchall not giving Tugai a moment's peace. Continent. Another remarkable game in the remarkable history of Old Firm encounters. There will be 3 minutes of added-on time, at which point the roar across Celtic Park might just be heard across the whole of Europe and maybe the whole of the world. The world, of course, is watching this. Tugai. Van Bronckhorst. Rangers are beaten side now. Lovenkrands taking on Boyd, and it's going to be a free kick. And
yeah,
another yellow.
Good positive play there by the youngster on the left-hand side, Ian. And look at the quickness of the feet here. Just too quick for Tom Boyd.
And the booking for Tom Boyd as a result of that challenge. Van Bronckhorst delivers. Amoruso rises the highest, but nothing doing for him or for Rangers, it seems, today. Tom Boyd's yellow card confirmed. What about your man of the match today, Davey?
One or two candidates, and I think this young man has had his finest game yet in a green and white jersey. His first few Old Firm games passed him by. He's proved he's up to speed now with the Scottish game. He's made a huge contribution, but I'm sure he won't mind me giving the Bank of Scotland man of the match to Henrik Larsson. The first goal alone of absolute world-class quality. Henrik Larsson is my man of the match.
Larsson all smiles on the bench. Celtic all smiles generally. Here's Claudio Reyna. Helped on by Dodds, but Celtic are everywhere. And Johan Mjällby has put in a good shift as well, having had to come into this cauldron in the first half of the injured Lambert. Petter now has released Stefan Mahi. Have Celtic got another one left in them? Sutton is there! Yes, they have! Sutton scores! It's 6 of the best, for the very best today. Celtic!
It's a great striker's goal, Ian, because he can't have much left gas in his tank, but he still makes sure he's at the back post when the ball comes in here. And he has to make up a lot of ground. You see him on the far side there. Times the run to perfection, drifts off Amoruso. One touch is enough. And what an Old Firm debut for Chris Sutton. Martin O'Neill said all he lacked is confidence. Well, he certainly won't lack it now. He's a hero in the East End of Glasgow today.
The Rangers fans are on their way, and no wonder. Their team has been second best today. It doesn't happen very often, but it's happened today. And they're being waved goodbye. For the first time in 62 years, an Old Firm team has scored 6 in an Old Firm League game. Celtic did it in 1938, and they've done it too in the year 2000. But hang on, they might be after number 7. Although there are only seconds remaining. Well, I suppose they'll settle for 6. It's all over, and Celtic really did make the champs look chumps. Martin O'Neill with a fantastic first Old Firm derby. Chris Sutton didn't do too badly either. He started off the scoring spree in the first minute. Stilian Petrov, inspirational, but everyone for Celtic today was a hero, including, of course, Henrik, as usual. It was amazing. It was astonishing. It was awesome. It finishes Celtic 6, Rangers 2.